Do you guys remember way back then, back when we were like really deep in like the Pomp game, and like back when we were still talking about Hans and Fuko, really like still running that game, like just talking shit on them. Like back then, I think it was like 2013, 2014. We were only a few collaborations in, and it was around that time that an idea like popped up in my head that I really wanted to open up my own kind of hairline or hair product line. Um, I had an idea. It was essentially to boil down every single pomade to its essence, break down that my experience of like a few hundred all these different pomades and really get down to what they are made of. And I had determined that every single pomade is a combination of a presence or an absence of strength, slickness, and shine. And no matter what pomade you used, it was some combination of a presence or absence of each of these three characteristics, like any pomade. And I was going to essentially put out three products that can be combined, each product being a strong embodiment of that single essence, that single element. And that was back in like 2013. I had it all like kind of figured out in my head. I knew which products were a good idea of it. I was gonna take them, go out to like Gar Labs or Reformer or one of the like big cosmetics manufacturers and be like, yo, give me this, give me that, give me like theirs, and then let's make it. But it just never really like kicked off. It just never really felt right, you know. Obviously, that's why you never really saw me come up with anything back then, and I still ran collaborations, one-offs, and whatnot. But I guess I want to just kind of share with you guys the story behind Black Bean, or at least like what we finally are doing this season, because this is essentially me making that like dream, that idea, that project like come true. Because I still feel that way. Like every single pomade you use, based on, you can even say every single hair product you use, is some combination of strength, as in like the hold, the control. It can either give you a lot of hold, a lot of stiffness, and therefore a lot of strength, or it can be on the opposite side of the spectrum, where it allows you flexibility, mobility, and like a minimal amount of strength. Then you have slickness, which we have defined in this community to be not like necessarily shine, but more so that like the stickiness of the product, how it keeps your hair together and whatnot. And then in the absence of that, you have something that is like we refer to as texture, like grittiness, kind of something that prevents your hair from sticking to one another, causing separation. And then of course the most obvious one is shine. You have something that's very like, kind of just reflective, glossy, and whatnot. And then you have a huge spectrum, of course, but and then at the other end you have something that removes that diffracts, like kind of like diffuses light in a way, which gives you like the matte effect. And that was really the mentality I approached here, with at least like these three products, which we have like Black Bean Brilliantine, which is a traditional step back to the oil-based formula. It's essentially a very firm, I think we can finally go back to like a heavy like hold, but mostly pushing and embodying that like shine aspect, not in that like tacky reflective mirror finish shine, but I added clay to kind of chop off that top level and take it back to something that is very deep, very dark's a way to say it, but just a very deep wet shine, but not reflective, you know, a nice deep luster. Then we have on the other side of the spectrum, we have Superior Clay, which is a slight reformulation and rescenting of the original pomade we released through Black Bean Grocery, Superior Pomade. So this is a very balanced, moderate hold, very like neutral, you can say matte, but mostly like a neutral finish, but definitely an absence of the slickness to really bring that texture and open that door for you all, and kind of bringing forth like a more coarse texture. Essentially very similar to what we've offered in the beginning, but refined. And then Three Beans Pomade, which is a huge improvement on our previous hairdressing cream. Completely fixed like the consistency, updated the scent, and made quite a few other tweaks. And this is, well, outside of this discussion, like your standard, like firm, strong hold, water-based pomade, something that is really versatile, that is used for almost like any sort of high volume style. But this is then in the embodiment of like strength. The idea is like these are the essential components of what constitutes almost any sort of pomade, and it really goes back to my original idea. Like, it's been a long time, like 5 years ago, and so this is my chance to kind of really just make that move, actually like follow through with one of my original ideas. And so I'm very excited, very happy, and honestly like very proud to finally be able to give this to you guys and show it to you guys. It means a lot to me personally. But then of course the texture cream is something quite a little separate, still within that 3 essential core elements concept, but not something that you can achieve with mixing any of these 3, because this is much lighter than anything. You can't really mix any of these and get something that is as light and freeform as this. And so yeah, I mean, this is, am I gonna say it? This is, I guess this is like really the peak for like what I've really wanted to do all these years via the Pomp. It's funny that it happens after I've kind of stepped away from it and passed it on to Harrison, but I still wanted to use that knowledge and create what I had dreamed of creating one day. So this is our current offering of hair products, just released today. And there are a few additions I still have in my head for the hair care line, maybe possibly next season, but essentially I really want to accomplish something big this season so that we can open the door to completely new things in the future seasons, and I can really experiment with something completely new, and while still working with our homebrewers. Because one of the biggest things and why I decided to move forward with this project at this time versus before is because I realized, why not make use of all the homebrewer connections we have, all these small businesses that we've helped develop via the Pomp over all these years, all these people who have grown out from their kitchens to full-on warehouses, industries, and I mean running real small business and successfully. And I wanted to support them by manufacturing through them, because they're very near and dear to my heart, rather than going off to some big cosmetics lab. And so this is a small project on my behalf, but also a big thank you to like all these people that I've worked with before, and of course to you guys who have really supported me throughout the entire thing and have given me the foundation to run off with these ideas. But looking back on it, it's just crazy. Either way, wanted to just share it with you guys, share you guys the story, because I don't know if I ever really told you guys about the, I don't think I ever have. Want to share you guys that story, how long this idea has been in my head, and really kick it off. But thanks for watching, guys, and peace out.